What if I told you that the most breathtaking garden borders aren't bought, they're rescued from the trash? Today, we're building an entire tiny garden border village using nothing but plastic bottles, old tires, and oil jugs, ideas that turn waste into miniature worlds that can transform even the smallest backyard. If you think your space is too tiny, stay with me. These ideas will prove you wrong. Welcome to Mind Over Decoration, where small spaces become big inspiration. In this video, we're exploring the full journey of creating colorful, durable, and completely unique DIY garden borders from everyday discarded items. This tutorial includes timestamps. Feel free to jump anywhere you like. And if you have questions, drop them in the comments. If any of these ideas spark something in you, recreate them your way. Use what you have. Start where you are. Let your creativity lead the way. And before we begin, here's something I want to tell you, something real, simple, and true. Maybe to you, I'm just another face on a screen. But behind this content, there's a real story, and a real family. This isn't just a video. It's a piece of my heart. Every like, every comment, every subscribe, it truly matters. When you hit that subscribe button, you're not just helping a creator grow. You're helping a dream stay alive. You're giving a small family hope, one click at a time. Thank you for being here. Thank you for seeing me. In the quiet corner of a tiny backyard, something magical begins to take shape, something born not from expensive materials or fancy store-bought decor, but from what most people would call trash. Old tires, cracked, dusty, forgotten, transformed into vibrant mushroom houses that instantly turn a dull garden corner into a whimsical mini world. And what makes them even more special is that each mushroom carries the story of your own hands, your creativity, and your decision to give discarded items a second life. Imagine stepping outside in the early morning, dew still clinging to the grass, and seeing your garden glow with bright pops of red and white. The mushroom houses stand proudly beside blooming marigolds and pansies, their colors richer under the soft sunrise. Neighbors walking by stop, stare, and smile, not because they recognize the materials, but because they can't believe something so charming came from old tires. It feels like a page from a children's storybook appearing right in your backyard. Each brushstroke of paint, each added window or tiny faux door, slowly builds a tiny world full of character. The tires blend seamlessly into the garden, weatherproof, sturdy, and perfect for any climate in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand. Kids love them. Adults love them. Even birds seem curious enough to perch nearby as if guarding a magical little village. And the best part? These mushroom houses do more than decorate. They define borders, guide pathways, frame flower beds, and create focal points that elevate even the smallest yard. Small spaces suddenly feel intentional, charming, and alive. You don't need acres of land to create beauty, you just need imagination and the courage to see potential where others see waste. And this is just the beginning of what trash can become. first glance, a plastic bottle is nothing more than trash, something empty, tossed aside, forgotten. But in a tiny garden with limited space and plenty of imagination, these bottles become something extraordinary, mini greenhouses that breathe life into every corner of your yard. They're simple, they're cheap, and they work far better than most people would ever expect. Imagine kneeling down in your small backyard, the sun beginning to warm the soil, as rows of clear bottles catch the light like tiny glass domes. Inside each one, a world unfolds, basil pushing through the ground, baby tomatoes reaching upward, spinach leaves opening wide for the first time. Moisture collects on the plastic walls, creating a perfect warm environment that protects your seedlings from wind, pests, and cold nights. It's like giving each plant its own little home, its own personal boost to thrive. As you walk along your new bottle border greenhouse, you notice how the plants grow faster, stronger, greener. People with big backyards don't expect tiny spaces to outperform them, but here, your small garden becomes a laboratory of clever ideas. And neighbors can't help but ask, "How are your plants so healthy?" You smile, knowing the answer costs nothing more than a few empty bottles. What makes this idea even more powerful is how visually striking it is. The bottles line up like crystals catching the sun, forming an edging that doubles as protection and decoration. Flowers blooming around them create bursts of color, while the seedlings inside glow with life. It's mesmerizing, simple yet beautiful. This is DIY at its best, using what you already have to create something functional, sustainable, and absolutely eye-catching. In the US, UK, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, this idea fits perfectly with unpredictable weather and tiny yards that demand efficiency. You're not just recycling, you're designing a garden that grows smarter. And with that, your tiny garden suddenly feels bigger, brighter, and full of possibilities. Hidden in the quietest part of a tiny backyard, something magical begins to take shape, something so small, yet so enchanting, that anyone who sees it instantly stops and stares. It starts with a few recycled bottles, cut and shaped into crystal-like pieces. Nothing expensive, nothing complicated. Just simple trash transformed into a sparkling border around a miniature fairy pond. And suddenly, your tiny garden corner becomes a world where imagination feels real. The pond reflects the sky like a tiny mirror, catching soft ripples as the wind passes. The recycled bottle crystals shimmer with hints of blue, green, and clear silver light as the sun moves overhead. Flowers bloom around the edges, daisies, violas, alyssum, creating pops of color that look almost too perfect to be real. Yet everything is real. Everything was made with your hands. As you get closer, the details come alive, moss hugging the stones, tiny petals floating gently on the surface, a miniature wooden bridge casting a shadow onto the water. Even the simplest bottle piece glitters in the light, like tiny magic shards placed carefully to protect the pond. Children who visit your backyard begin whispering stories about fairies living underneath the bridge. Adults smile, remembering a time when they believed in such things too. What makes this idea so powerful is how unexpectedly beautiful it is. People don't imagine recycled bottles becoming something elegant. But here, arranged around a tiny pond, they look like handcrafted glass, adding depth, sparkle, and personality. You've created not just decor, but an atmosphere, a tiny escape, a moment of calm, a pocket of fantasy in a small space. For tiny gardens in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, this idea fits perfectly. It brings life to unused corners and turns even the smallest yard into a stunning visual story. A story that's inexpensive, sustainable, and unforgettable. This is the kind of DIY that transforms more than just a garden. It transforms how people see everyday materials. Magic, it turns out, was hiding in those bottles all along. There's a moment in every garden when you realize color isn't just decoration, it's emotion. It's energy. It's the spark that makes even the smallest backyard feel alive. And nothing captures that feeling better than taking a handful of empty soda bottles and turning them into a vibrant rainbow fence edging that instantly transforms your space. Picture this: the sun rises, light spills over the garden, and suddenly the entire border glows with radiant colors. Reds and oranges warm the soil, greens and blues cool the air, purples shimmer with a quiet magic. Each bottle, once tossed aside as trash, now stands like a miniature stained glass tower capturing sunlight in the most unexpected way. The gradient is smooth, perfect, satisfying to look at, just like a rainbow that decided to settle gently along your garden bed. Children walking by stop and point. Adults lean in closer, squinting, trying to understand how something so simple can look so beautiful. And you smile, because you know the secret: creativity doesn't need money, it needs imagination. A few empty bottles, a splash of paint, and the willingness to look at trash differently. Flowers seem to bloom brighter next to the rainbow border. Marigolds look richer. Zinnias glow more intensely. Even the leafy greens in your tiny vegetable patch take on a new vibrancy. The colors enhance everything around them, turning ordinary corners into eye-catching focal points. Your tiny yard or small garden suddenly feels fuller, happier, more expressive. And the best part? This project works anywhere. US suburbs, UK terraces, Canadian patios, Australian courtyards, New Zealand balconies. If there's a bit of soil or space to plant bottles, the rainbow can live there. It's durable, weather-resistant, and unbelievably charming. But beyond aesthetics, this edging tells a bigger story. That waste can become wonder. That beauty doesn't need to be bought. That the world becomes brighter when we choose to create instead of throw away. Your garden becomes your canvas, and the rainbow is your signature. There's something undeniably charming about cottage-style decor, the soft colors, the hand-painted details, the feeling that everything was crafted slowly and lovingly. Now imagine bringing that feeling into a tiny backyard using something no one expects: old oil jugs. Stained, dented, forgotten oil jugs, transformed into a beautiful planter edging that looks straight out of an English countryside garden. The transformation begins with a simple cut, a wash, and a fresh coat of pastel paint. Cream, soft blue, sage green. Colors that instantly calm the eye and warm the heart. As the paint dries, the jugs begin to lose their industrial identity and adopt a new personality, one that feels handcrafted, artistic, and full of story. Tiny painted windows, faux wooden doors, little floral patterns, Suddenly each jug looks like a miniature cottage waiting to welcome life. And life comes. Petunias spill out in bright waves. Lavender stands tall, releasing its gentle fragrance. Rosemary and basil fill the air with earthy freshness. Whether flowers or herbs, everything planted inside these repurposed jugs thrives. The containers hold moisture well, protect roots from harsh ground temperatures, and offer the perfect compact growing space for small gardens and patios. Arranged side by side, the jugs form a whimsical edging that guides the eye along the garden bed. The cottage colors pop beautifully against green foliage, while the different heights and textures create depth. In small spaces, US patios, UK terrace gardens, Canadian backyards, Australian courtyards, New Zealand balconies, this idea adds charm without needing much room. People who visit can't help but ask, "Where did you buy those?" And you smile, because you didn't buy them. You saved them. You transformed them. You took something destined for the landfill and gave it new meaning. The beauty of this idea isn't just in how lovely it looks, but in the story it tells. A story of creativity, sustainability, and the way simple objects can become extraordinary with just a little imagination. Some garden borders are functional. Some are decorative. But every once in a while, one idea comes along that feels almost alive. That's the magic of the wavy flow border, created entirely from recycled plastic bottles shaped into soft, graceful curves that mimic the movement of water. In a small garden, especially one shaped by curves instead of straight lines, this border becomes more than an edge, it becomes art. Imagine stepping outside in the early hours of the morning, the air still cool, the sunlight just beginning to stretch across your tiny yard. As the light touches the wavy edging, it glides along the curves, bouncing softly across each contour. The bottles, once rigid, plain, disposable, now ripple like flowing watercolor strokes guiding your eyes along the flower bed. It feels peaceful, gentle, natural, even though the material came from something as ordinary as a plastic bottle. Behind the wavy edge, flowers bloom confidently, hydrangeas, snapdragons, zinnias, violas, bursts of color framed by the soft seafoam tones of the border. The waves give every plant a stage, drawing attention to their shapes and blooms while grounding the entire garden with a sense of movement. Even the soil looks richer under the gentle shadow of the curved plastic. Tiny yards benefit the most from design elements that add visual flow. Straight lines can make small spaces feel stiff or boxed in, but curves bring softness, depth, and a sense of expansion. This recycled wavy border transforms narrow beds into graceful arcs and dull corners into gentle swirls of color and shape. People passing by will look twice. They'll wonder where you bought such a unique border. And you can proudly say you crafted it from bottles that would have been thrown away. You didn't just save space, you saved materials, money, and added a handmade touch that no store-bought edging could replicate. In a world full of straight lines and sharp edges, your garden becomes a place where things can flow, breathe, and feel alive, thanks to the simplest wave. Tiny yards demand clever solutions, ideas that are not only practical, but visually striking and strong enough to last through seasons of rain, heat, and cold. And that's exactly what the layered bottle brick border delivers. By simply filling plastic bottles with sand, soil, or colored gravel, you create a surprisingly sturdy brick that transforms into a beautiful, functional garden edging. Imagine kneeling in your backyard as you place the bottles one by one, stacking them in layers just like masonry. The weight of the sand gives each bottle solidity, anchoring the border naturally. And as the sunlight hits the bottles, something magical happens. The colors inside glow softly, and the rounded shapes catch highlights that make the border look polished and intentional, almost like glass bricks, but warmer, softer, and homemade. Behind the edging, flowers bloom with confidence. Petunias spill over the top, calendulas glow in the sun, marigolds brighten the space with warm orange and gold tones. The clean line of the bottle brick border frames everything beautifully, giving even the smallest yard a sense of structure and design. What once felt cramped now feels organized, balanced, and surprisingly spacious. Neighbors will assume this border took hours of craftsmanship or cost a fortune at a garden center. But you know the secret, it's made from bottles that would have ended up in the trash. Bottles you rescued, cleaned, and repurposed into something durable, charming, and environmentally kind. The beauty of this idea is its versatility. Straight path? It works. Curved flower bed? Even better. Narrow side yard? Perfect. Tiny gardens in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand all benefit from borders that define space without overwhelming it. And as you stand back and admire your work, you realize you haven't just created a border. You've built a foundation, one that says even ordinary materials can become extraordinary when shaped by thoughtful hands. Backyards need personality, something that makes them feel alive, joyful, and uniquely yours. And nothing captures that playful spirit better than turning old tires into delightful animal guardians that stand watch over your garden borders. These sculptures aren't just decorations, they're characters. They bring charm, warmth, and just a little bit of magic to even the smallest outdoor spaces. Imagine stepping into your backyard and being greeted by a cheerful yellow bee made from a tire, its glossy paint shining under the sun. Nearby, a plump green frog sits proudly, bottle cap eyes glistening as though he's ready to hop into the flowers. A fox with soft orange tones seems to peek from behind hydrangeas, while a pastel purple rabbit stands tall by the calendulas. Each guardian has its own personality, cute, welcoming, and just whimsical enough to make anyone smile. What makes these sculptures irresistible is how unexpectedly adorable they are. Tires are heavy, rugged, and industrial, yet somehow, when shaped and painted with care, they transform into the most charming garden companions. Their rounded shapes become expressions. Their curves become bodies. Their textures become part of their character. And because they're made from rubber, they withstand rain, sun, wind, and time effortlessly. These guardians also serve the garden visually. They mark borders, highlight flower beds, and anchor corners with pops of color that brighten the entire space. Children adore them. Guests are immediately drawn to them. Even the plants seem to bloom a little happier around their presence. And for you? Creating them is half the joy. Cutting the ears, painting the eyes, choosing the colors, every step turns trash into a story. A story of imagination. Of playfulness. of reclaiming something forgotten and giving it new purpose. In tiny gardens across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, these tire animal guardians transform simple backyards into enchanting worlds. They remind everyone who sees them that creativity has no limits, and that even the heaviest pieces of trash can become lovable characters with just a little heart. Some patios are so narrow that traditional gardening feels impossible. There just isn't enough soil, space, or sunlight to make a garden bed work. But what if those limitations became opportunities? What if plastic bottles, something you normally toss away, could transform into a hydroponic edging system that grows more food than your yard ever could? Picture stepping out onto your tiny patio and seeing a long line of clear bottles neatly arranged along the border, each one a miniature hydroponic pod. Inside, roots float freely in nutrient-rich water, glowing softly under the sunlight. Lettuce, basil, mint, spinach, plants that usually need space, now thrive in compact, water-filled chambers that never feel cramped. They grow faster, cleaner, and greener than soil ever allowed. The effect is stunning. The bottles become both structure and function, a physical border that defines the patio edge, and a living garden that grows upward and outward. Even the roots become part of the visual appeal, swirling gently inside the transparent bottles like living sculptures. Guests who visit instantly ask, "How is this even possible?" And you smile, because it's simpler than it looks. A few bottles. A little water. A pinch of nutrients. A bit of sunlight. And suddenly you have a thriving hydroponic border that fits even the narrowest spaces in homes across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand. But beyond the practicality, there's something deeply satisfying about seeing life grow inside something that was once considered empty trash. It becomes proof that small spaces can still produce abundance. That patios can feed families. That creativity can turn limitations into beauty. Flowers can bloom behind the hydroponic edging. Herbs can spill toward the walkway. And strawberries, bright red and sweet, can dangle from carefully cut side openings, drawing eyes and inspiring curiosity. This isn't just gardening. It's innovation. It's sustainability. It's a border that grows food, saves space, and looks stunning while doing it. Small spaces challenge gardeners, but they also spark some of the most brilliant ideas. When the ground is limited, the only direction left is upward. And that's where the oil jug vertical garden shines, a simple, affordable way to grow more in less space using items most people throw away. Imagine standing on your tiny patio, balcony, or narrow backyard path. The area feels tight, but just above eye level, a living wall begins to form. Old oil jugs, washed, cut, painted, and transformed, hang neatly in rows. Soft sage greens, warm creams, pastel blues, colors that instantly soften the industrial look of the plastic. Each jug becomes its own planter, holding soil, roots, and bursting greens that spill forward with life. You reach out and lightly touch a peppermint leaf. It's cool and fragrant. Nearby, cherry tomatoes glow in the sun, dangling from jug openings as if nature herself decided to gift you ornaments. Flowering begonias cascade softly over the edges, adding color and charm. And the best part? All of this grows vertically, using only a few inches of ground space. The system is strong, weatherproof, and eco-friendly. The jugs hold moisture well, protect the roots from harsh temperature swings, and can be arranged in countless patterns across fences, walls, or balcony railings. In small homes across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, vertical gardens like this allow families to grow herbs, vegetables, strawberries, and flowers even when soil is limited. Visitors will ask, "Where did you buy this?" And you'll smile, because the beauty of the vertical jug garden isn't that it's expensive, it's that it's recycled. It's handmade. It's full of personality, creativity, and practicality. Every jug tells a story of renewal, of growth, of turning trash into something beautiful and alive. And every plant growing from them is proof that small spaces can bloom just as boldly as big ones, sometimes even more. Fences are often forgotten. They stand quietly at the edge of our yards, doing their job without asking for attention. But what if a fence wasn't just a boundary? What if it became a garden of its own? That's the magic behind turning soda bottles into hanging fence planters. Suddenly, a simple wall becomes a vertical landscape overflowing with flowers, herbs, and even fruit. Imagine walking into a small backyard or stepping onto a narrow patio. The space is tight, but the view is breathtaking. A line of pastel-colored bottle planters hangs gracefully from the fence, each one bursting with life. Petunias bloom in soft waves of color, herbs release their fresh scent, and trailing flowers tumble gently toward the ground as if reaching for sunlight. The bottles themselves begin to disappear into the beauty of what they hold. Their transparent curves allow light to slip through water droplets and leaves, casting tiny flickers of reflection that dance in the sun. The ropes or wire ties holding each bottle add a rustic touch, giving the fence a handcrafted cottage feel. And because the bottles are light and easy to shape, you can arrange them in patterns, straight rows, diagonal waves, or even a full garden wall. For tiny spaces in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, or New Zealand, this idea is a game changer. Even the smallest fence can support dozens of planters, each contributing fresh herbs, blooming flowers, or strawberries that dangle like ornaments. Vertical gardening means more plants in less space, and when the containers are free recycled materials, the possibilities feel endless. What makes this idea especially satisfying is the transformation itself. A plain soda bottle becomes a planter full of personality. A blank fence becomes a work of living art. Trash becomes beauty. And every visitor who sees your hanging garden will ask how you created something so striking from something so simple. In a world where space is shrinking and sustainability matters, solutions like this prove that creativity always finds a place to grow, especially when it grows upward. There's something magical about walking through an archway before entering a garden. It feels like stepping into another world, one where time slows down, colors bloom brighter, and nature whispers softly around you. But what if that arch wasn't made from expensive wood or metal? What if it came from the simplest materials nature gives us for free, fallen branches? Twisted branch arches are more than structures. They are sculptures shaped by the natural curves of the forest. Each branch carries its own story, wind, seasons, growth. And when you gather them, bend them, and weave them gently together, they transform into breathtaking entrances that frame your garden like a piece of living art. Imagine approaching your tiny garden and seeing a rustic arch rising from the soil. Moss clings lightly to the bark, giving it that ancient woodland charm. Vines, maybe ivy or climbing flowers, wind their way upward, adding softness and life. Beneath the arch, roses, daisies, zinnias, or calendulas bloom in vivid color, welcoming every visitor as if the garden itself is greeting them with open arms. The arch doesn't need to be perfect, its beauty comes from its organic shape, its imperfect twists, and the way the branches dance around one another. Under morning sunlight, the wood glows warmly. In the evening, shadows stretch along the path beneath it, creating a sense of depth and mystery. At night, you can hang tiny solar bottle lanterns to make it glow like a fairy portal. In small spaces, whether patios in the UK, side yards in the US, courtyards in Australia, or compact gardens in Canada and New Zealand, these arches bring vertical interest and structure without overwhelming the landscape. They draw the eye upward, making small gardens feel bigger and more immersive. Visitors always pause before stepping through. Children imagine fantasy worlds. Adults admire the craftsmanship. And everyone feels the shift in atmosphere the moment they walk underneath. This is the power of nature-made design. Simple materials. Zero cost. Infinite wonder. There's a unique beauty in things untouched by machines, materials shaped by wind, rain, and time itself. Fallen branches, lying quietly on the forest floor, carry textures and curves that no factory could ever recreate. And when those branches come together to form a rustic fence, something magical happens. The garden suddenly feels timeless, earthy, and deeply connected to nature. Imagine walking into a small garden framed by a low fence built entirely from fallen branches. No sharp factory cuts. No perfect symmetry. Instead, a gentle, organic flow. Each branch has its own personality, some twisted, some smooth, some lined with delicate moss that glows softly in the morning light. The fence doesn't just mark a boundary, it becomes part of the landscape, blending seamlessly with the soil, flowers, and sunlight. Along the base, bright blooms, calendulas, zinnias, violas, snapdragons, shine like jewels against the dark wood. Their colors seem even more vibrant beside the rustic textures of the branches. The fence acts as a subtle frame, lifting the beauty of the plants and guiding the eye across the garden. Even in the smallest yards, this natural structure adds depth, warmth, and character. The process of building it is just as meaningful as the result. Gathering branches, trimming them, weaving them, tying them with twine or rope, it feels like working alongside nature rather than against it. There's no rush. No noise. Just the satisfying sound of wood meeting wood and the gentle tug of rope securing everything in place. In small gardens across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, this rustic fence becomes a statement that beauty can be simple. That sustainability can be elegant. That nature already provides everything needed to create something extraordinary. Visitors will admire it. Children will use it as a miniature fort. Birds may even perch along its top branches. But most importantly, it becomes a reminder, every time you see it, that the most beautiful things often come from what we find, not what we buy. Narrow backyards can be tricky, they're tight, confined, and often difficult to design. But with the right idea, even the smallest space can feel structured, elegant, and surprisingly spacious. One of the most creative solutions comes from something unexpected: old tires. When cut into thick curved slices, they become durable stepping edges that guide pathways, frame flower beds, and transform simple walkways into beautifully defined garden corridors. Imagine stepping into your narrow backyard and seeing a clean, sculpted border lining the path. The tire slices, painted in earthy tones, terracotta, deep charcoal, rustic browns, curve gently along the edges like miniature retaining walls. Their textures catch the sunlight, highlighting grooves and subtle weathered marks that make each piece feel strong and handcrafted. They sit firmly in the soil, stable and unmovable, giving your small garden a sense of structure that feels intentional and timeless. Flowers bloom along the edges: zinnias, petunias, calendulas, adding vibrant bursts of color that contrast beautifully with the dark tire tones. Herbs like mint or rosemary spill over from nearby beds, brushing lightly against the tire edges when the wind blows. Everything feels balanced, grounded, natural. What makes tire slice edging particularly powerful is its dual purpose. It acts as both stepping guidance, leading your feet comfortably along the walkway, and as decorative border design that elevates the whole garden. Even in tight spaces across the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, this edging brings depth and order without crowding the area. And beyond the beauty, there's a deeper story here: sustainability. Each tire slice represents material saved from landfills, transformed into something that brings life and function to your home. There is pride in knowing your garden features strong, weatherproof edging that costs nothing and will last for years. Visitors will admire the unique shape. Children will follow the curve like a natural path. And you'll know that your narrow backyard now breathes with creativity, one tire slice at a time. As the sun dips below the horizon, a garden transforms. Colors soften, shadows stretch, and suddenly every corner feels calm and quiet. But with a little creativity, and a few recycled bottles, you can bring a magical glow to even the smallest backyard path. Mini pathway lights made from old bottles don't just brighten your garden, they create atmosphere, warmth, and a sense of wonder. Imagine walking through your tiny yard at dusk. The air is cool, the flowers gently swaying, and along the path, soft points of golden light begin to appear. Each bottle glows like a tiny lantern, illuminating the soil, pebble edges, and petals nearby. Some bottles project delicate star-shaped patterns. Others glow through frosted surfaces that diffuse the light like miniature street lamps. Even the simplest bottle becomes beautiful when transformed into a vessel of warm light. These lights are more than decoration. They guide your steps, outline your garden bed, and give your small outdoor space a cozy, intimate feel. For narrow patios, tiny yards, compact gardens, and small pathways in the US, UK, Canada, Australia, and New Zealand, they make nighttime garden use not only possible, but enchanting. And they're incredibly easy to make. Clear bottles become lanterns with just a coat of frosted spray or a few cutout shapes. Solar LEDs slip inside effortlessly, turning each bottle into a sustainable and energy-free garden light. Painted bottles in pastel tones add color during the daytime and gentle illumination at night. The real magic, though, comes from what these lights represent: transformation. Once empty, discarded, and forgotten, the bottles now shine with purpose. They become symbols of creativity, proof that even the most ordinary items can warm a space, guide a path, and catch the eye of anyone who walks by. When guests visit, they pause at the glow. Children follow the lights like stepping stones. And you get to enjoy a garden that feels alive, even after dark. Recycled bottle lights don't just illuminate your backyard. They illuminate your imagination.